misunderstood. Let's get uncomfortable.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another podcast video with us, Kat.
And your boy Jay. Popped out. So today's topic is family versus relationships. So, is it important for your partner to meet your family?
Yeah, I think it is. At least for me personally, I would say it's important for them to meet my family, especially my siblings. Only because I'm very close to my siblings, so it's like, I want the person that's gonna be part of my life to meet the people that are most important to me. So I would say yes.
Okay. I'll say for me that I definitely think it's important whether you got a great family dynamic or not. I feel like if that person is gonna be around you, hopefully, for the rest of your life, for lifers, I think that is not mandatory. I don't want to say it like that because nobody's really forced to do anything, but I think it should be top tier priority in a relationship.
Yeah. How far in the relationship though would you introduce them to your family?
I would kind of introduce them kind of early because, like I said, you gonna be in my face, and I'm a chatterbox, so they're gonna know about you even before they see you. Sometimes I feel like they want to put a name to face, and I'm an adult. I'm gonna bring you around wherever we go. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I would say, right away. Again, like Jay said, I will be talking about the person beforehand with those that I care about most in my family. So they're gonna want to see your face or be excited. Just because of their excitement for me, they're gonna want to meet you. So yeah, so I tend to introduce like right away. Especially if I know, because I'm the type of person that I always said when I date somebody, I'm looking for long term. So of course I'm gonna want to introduce you to my family right away. Whereas if it was just like obviously somebody that I'm just like messing with or something like that, then it would have been
not too many details for that. It's just like
exactly, it would have been a no.
Okay. Is there someone in your family that you would want your person to meet when you're dating them? Like your go-to?
For me, it's always like I mentioned before, my siblings. My siblings are very important in my life, always have been. So they were always I'm in a relationship now, so I'm talking about like past events and stuff. So they were always my go-to. And yeah, so I would say my siblings, even like when my mom was around, she was obviously the go-to, but if my siblings liked you, then you knew you were on my mom's good side. So, because at least, especially my older sister, she would at least put a good word in my mom's ear for you, so she could be kind of more lenient towards you. But unfortunately, my mom passed away, so in the case, it would still be the case, my siblings.
Okay. Well, I would say, because I don't really have siblings besides, Jason, but it'd be you, then Jason, because like I said, I think I'll have you as a female perspective, because girls be complicated. Y'all different for real. And then if I need more like manly advice, I ask Jason. But I'm more romantic than Jason, so I really don't ask him for too much advice. So it's just me and Kat, and hence how we ended up here with the mom and the stud.
So if so, do you take their opinions into consideration?
I try to, cause I'm at a point in my life is like I don't really listen for real sometimes. So it's like I'll take it and kind of like it won't be in one ear out the other. It would just kind of like linger in the back of the brain. I'm like, okay, when I'm with somebody, I'm like, okay, I remember Kat said this. Be wary about this. Don't do this. But I'm gonna still do it because I'm an adult. I'm gonna learn for some mistakes. I'm gonna go through what I go through. But I do kind of take it. What's the word? with a grain of salt per se. It's like I'm not gonna be like, damn, they right about you. You know, I'm just gonna take it slow.
Like their opinions matter, but you know, I would say the same thing because you know others or in my family in a sense, their opinion matters to me, of course, because if I'm introducing you already to that person or those people in my family, it's because you know at the same time I want to get feedback too. But it depends what the feedback is. So yeah, everybody goes through, especially depending where you at in life, you're gonna go through that stage where it's like, okay, you hear them out, but you still continue doing your own thing, regardless. But yeah, but their opinion still matters to me, and I sort of have taken it into consideration. I could say yeah, especially with my older sister's opinion. I'm trying to think if there was ever a situation where I never took their opinion into consideration, but I don't think they really ever gave me when I introduced them or when they had met. I think with Jason they did, but it was just a situation at hand in general because it was like I was coming from a breakup and I went right into the relationship. So it was more like it was more like the opinions was more like, you know, take it easy, you know, take it slow, you know, and I also have a daughter from my previous relationship, so it was like, you know, the whole scenario was a little bit more different than any other relationships in the past. So their whole point was always, you know, keeping in mind my daughter's feelings and stuff like that when it came to me being with my current partner. So yeah, so that was really the opinions on that. On past relationships, they never really had an opinion. Besides, oh, I like them or I don't like them. So I can't really say if I took, you know, me taking their opinions into consideration. They normally would have an opinion if I, you know, already was in the relationship and if they saw something or if
they just brought it up to you type of thing. Yeah,
or mostly it was like if I was going through something and I kind of like told them about what was going on or how I felt about certain things, then that's when they would give an opinion. But other than that, like it was never like yeah.
Okay.
It was never like really an opinion given.
So I'm gonna ask this: if your family did have an opinion about somebody, like, would you want to know, like, at hand, like right away?
I would say yes. I want to know. I think, like I said, if I'm introducing them to my family, of course I want to know what they think of the person. I know we all go through situations where we're in love or we're too
invested,
exactly. I'm trying to think of the word. I'm not looking for the word puppy love, but I can't
lust.
think of. Yeah, we're in lust with this person. So we tend to kind of like not care what people think. So what about you?
I say yes and no. Only reason I say that is because I'm a little sensitive, and like, if I feel like you don't like a person, then now all of a sudden I'm gonna start thinking about flaws.
Yeah.
That you will also notice, and then that's gonna like trigger something. I'm like, I really may or may not really fuck with you for real. Like, you might be crazy, or you might not really be the one. But I also would want to know because you are kind of may or may not be saving me from something. I've been in a situation where like I was in denial. I was like, fuck all you guys' opinions, okay? Ended up getting cheated on, but I knew about it at some point. But because I'm a little delusional, I wanted to see it through because I would tell the person, like, her family, I'm like, yo, this is going on, and da-da-da, and they was like, no, that's not happening, da-da-da, trying to make me feel crazy. And as a Scorpio, okay, I believe in, you know, the astrology, I was like, I'm not letting this slide because I got receipts, nobody's, like, listening to me, and I'm like, all right, I took what my family had said, and I'm like, all right, now I got what I need, now I can FBI agent this. But she ended up being dumb, and her ex-boyfriend ended up coming to her house on Valentine's Day, and she ended up getting caught up. And then she would, like, messaged me after the time being. She had told me about like this guy giving her cousin giving this guy you know what, in the back of the park, and then she was like how she didn't want him to be around her, and I was like, you're a hypocrite. Like that's double standards.
Yeah.
But right now, as I got older, I do really take everything in like at face value, because back then I was really just like,
Yeah,
I'm young, I don't really care.
I think it depends on the stages in our life, because usually when we're young, that's when we really don't care what our parents or our family members think or have to say, especially when we're really invested in this person. But as an adult, I could say my mom was more of the opinion giver. Like I said, my siblings didn't really give an opinion besides if they liked them for me or not.
Right.
But my mom, of course, her opinion was gonna come out.
Of course, it's your mom's.
And it was funny because in the case of my daughter's father, it was like at first she liked him, and she was the one that was like, "Oh, you should date him." Mm-hmm. Because he seems like a really good guy and this and that, which he is and he was, you know. I can't say he wasn't. But then they went through a situation while I was pregnant that then after that argument, they had like a little argument or whatever. And after that, my mom was like, oh no. So my mom was the type of person that once she cut you off,
that just felt like a backwards Sour Patch. It's like, you know how it says sour
yeah,
sweet
so
gone?
it was like, you know, she was just upset at the fact that she felt disrespected by him.
Which is not given.
Which, you know, we did talk it out and I did confront him about it and all this stuff. And we try to like, I tried to have a sit down with them, because at the same time it was like dealing with the same person twice, to put it that way, because they were both stubborn as hell. But it was like nobody wants to apologize. Everybody wanted to be right. But point is that, you know, it was almost to a point where she kind of like after that, since she didn't like him anymore, it was like she wanted me to break up with him. And it was like, or she didn't want me to bring Sophia around, or, you know, everything was an issue. And it was like, you know, I made it a point to her, like, no, like, you know, I'm not going to do what you're saying, because at the end of the day, he's still the father to my child. And this and that, and we're still together. So she, you know, I know she didn't like that, but she kind of like, you know, let it happen. So yeah, so my mom, like I said, she was more the opinion giver. And if it was up to her, we wouldn't date anyway. You know, she tried to save us from any guy, or at least, I don't know about my brother, but because I guess, you know, my mom passed away before he actually ever really had a serious relationship. So she didn't get to experience that with him. But yeah, but if it was up to her, it would be like, no, don't date.
Nobody gets loved. I'm the only one that loves you.
Yeah.
Okay. So school relationships or adult relationships, like when do you think opinions should be involved? Like when you were like younger, older?
I think in both, a little bit of both. Especially when you're younger. So I could say this now that I'm a parent and knowing what I know from my previous relationships. Of course, I could come off as a little overprotective with my girls, especially because guys could be assholes. In many ways, you know. And I feel like I feel like I wouldn't be as strict as my mother was, just because I don't want them to go through, you know,
the cycle that you went through.
Exactly. But I want them to be open and honest with me, but I also want them to be cautious, and, you know, I want them to be better at picking or noticing
like
things
noticing flaws
than
things.
how I was, to put it that way.
Don't be too naive.
You know, exactly. Like, I don't want them to feel like they have to be in a relationship just because. Like, I want them to know, you know, they deserve to be in a great relationship.
Right.
They
Don't let nobody pillow talk you type
exactly.
of thing.
So I think in school years, of course, I would say like parents, or, you know, high schoolers and all this stuff, whoever's watching us in that age, yes, you should let your parents' opinion be involved in your relationship. But also it depends, because if you have that type of parent that's trying to live their life through you,
Then
no. If you have that type of parent that's a little bit too strict, then maybe it's a no. If you have those parents that that, and you will know, parents that truly care,
like a middle parent.
Exactly, that truly care. Yeah, all parents might come off as a little strict when it comes to dating, but 9 out of 10 times is because they care about you and they want you to be happy. They don't want you, and you're young at the end of the day. If you go, like I tell my siblings all the time, if you could wait to date, then wait to date. Like choose you,
don't be
choose you,
don't be 15 and pregnant,
and be happy. Exactly, because you got a whole life to live anyway. So don't feel like you have to rush to be in a relationship either. It's not. It's more than what you think. It's more of an investment than what you think it is.
Trials and tribulations.
And it's something serious. You're dealing with other people's emotions, each other's emotions.
Especially when you're not healed when you're young, you're not as healed. Like I said, my first heartbreak was like when I was like 15. And nobody told me what a heartbreak would feel like, especially during that age.
Yeah.
Like the girl broke up with me and everything. And then she ended up getting another person and I was like, bitch, what? It hasn't what? And then she was doing some crazy stuff, and people would come to me to go help this girl out. I'm like, that's not my girl. That's not my girl.
Yeah.
And she was getting cheated on by the person that she left me for. But that's what you get. But they don't tell you about the heartbreaks that you go through as 15 to like maybe 18 at best.
Yeah.
Or like what it feels like to be degraded, not in a sexy way, or like what does it feel like to like experience mental and physical abuse and things like that. How to get out of that. Or, like, it's okay not to settle. Like, I've been in relationships where I was getting emotionally abused. And I didn't realize what that was because, like, again, nobody talks about the signs or what Mind you, I was, like, maybe 2 years ago when I figured out what the hell gaslighting was.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just, like, I feel like especially back then I was closeted, but if I feel like if my family were to tell me what relationships would be like, whether I was with a man, a woman, whatever, they should have been able to tell me like what signs to look out for.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not even that. It's also like we see what our parents go through in their own relationships, whether they have healthy relationships or not. And especially when they don't have healthy relationships, we tend to kind of like think we're gonna be better, and then we end up doing going through the same motion as they have. So it is important for parents to talk to their kids about relationships. Don't be scared. My mom didn't talk to us about relationships. All she would pretty much say was like,
don't date.
No, it was like, once she knew we was dating, it was more like, oh, be careful, stuff like that. But she was never like very specific about the like things the stuff like that. Exactly. So I feel like, I don't want to do the same thing. I want my kids to know what it is. And this is what you might go through, but also not to be scared to, because it's not a fear thing. It's more of a, when the time is right. That's what I want my kids to want you. I'm saying want you. That's what I want my kids to experience. And you too, my watchers, to look out for, there's a time and a place for things, and, if you don't want to date now, don't date. And if you feel ready, then just know that it's a commitment. It is a commitment, and yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say again, high school years, parents' opinion, family's opinion matter most. Adulthood, if you're the type, I would say, you're pretty much on your own at the end of the day when you're an adult. So it's like, yeah, the opinion should be there, especially if you're a caring parent. I'm talking about healthy relationships, healthy, caring people around you. Because I know we all go through the mental health of, how do you say it, the whole issues of having flaws in our families. So it's like, we got to think about that too. But I'm talking about if you have good people in your family that's on your side, good parents and everything, and you're dating.
Yeah, just take it into
Of
heart.
course, you know, you want to what they're saying to you, but you're an adult now, so it's like you're pretty much on your own. So don't think, you know, you can't consider others' opinion at the end of the day, but it is what you choose to do. And when it comes to those parents too, the strict parents, you know, you got to think at the end of the day, you don't want to create sheltered kids. So, you know, it's, how do I say it? When it comes to this question, it's like a little bit yes, a little bit of no because of that. Because when it comes to the school years, a parent's opinion should matter, but
When you get an
it
adult,
depends. You know, you don't want to be too strict.
you don't want to be
about it.
you don't be
because-
overbearing as
exactly
an
because you don't want to create that sheltered child where it's like
adult. They
you
about
know,
to live in your basement and shit because you don't want little Jimmy dating and shit.
yeah, and not just that, it's like they don't know how to, you know, communicate or
It's generational
deal
curse.
exactly deal with things outside of when you're not around. Because remember, we're not living forever, unfortunately. So it's like you got to think about how my child is gonna react in the world without me. So you got to prepare them for that. And one way to prepare them is if they are dating, give them advice. But if they choose to not do what you're telling them to do, it's also okay and still be there for them. You know, don't
Right.
be that parent that just be like, no, you got pregnant and I'm walking away. Of course,
It's disheartening.
it will
but-
be difficult, exactly, and hurtful, but they still need you, you know, to guide them which way to go and what to do next. Whether you're going to keep them in the home or not, you know, you should still somewhat be there for them. But we also don't want to create sheltered kids where, you know, they don't know how to deal with stuff in the world. How to say, you know. Yeah.
I've been sheltered, and I think that's what is hard about dating is you have that generational curse like lingering on your back, and it's just like, I don't want to be like my mom, I don't want to be like my dad. This is why we got mommy and daddy issues, okay? Because they can't let us grow up, and I say us because there's other people like you, like me, and I'm 25, about to be 26, and I've never done a lot of stuff by myself. Like, even dating, like, openly dating with my people, my family was around. One of the first people, like I said, they didn't like the girl. And I didn't know how to, like, deal with that. And I was like, this is, like, my first open relationship. And you guys already don't like her. Da-da-da-da. So it was really disheartening to know that my family didn't like the girl. But, I mean, granted. But...
They were right.
And then when I later on found somebody, like, who my family adored, that I was in love one good time. Okay? One good time. And just knowing that my family liked, like, nah, I can't even say, like, adored this one person. And I think about relationships I had when I was young, and I'm like, this is what love, you know, this is about to be it. It's about to be it. Let me tell you. But I say this as an adult is, don't let that generational trauma continue further on. Like, you gotta set boundaries with your family, because, like, if I'm 25 and my mom is still dictating what I got going on, how am I supposed to live? How you supposed to live? I feel like there is a time and a place.
And that's why I said, like, it's a little bit of a yes and no.
Let go.
Because even as adulthood and even as school years, if you are a caring parent, I know it's hard, but at the same time, you gotta let your children.
Let them shackles go. Let them go. Let your
Not
kids
just
breathe.
that, and you want to let them learn from their experience. That's where I was really trying to get at. You know, when it comes to relationships, you got to let them learn from their experience. Because that's the only way that they'll be able to, you know, move on in general. Like, you know, so yeah. So I would say it matters in both. A lot more when they're in school years, a little bit less when they're adults, obviously, but you should still always be there for your child or your family member. Now, boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries. I think when it comes to certain situations, I I think it's important to create boundaries with your families. Like we've been talking about, we want our family members' opinion, yes, but you also have to create that boundary where you're able to say, listen, like if you feel like your family member is overstepping or overdoing it, like you're able to say no, like this is not okay, like, you know, because we do have that family member as well, especially some of our parents. Like I said, we do have those parents that feel like, you know, they're saying or doing the right thing, but sometimes it could come off as a little bit too much. Exactly. And they don't notice that. So it's, you know, you want to be able to say, you know.
And parents don't know how to say sorry or apologize. Like,
exactly.
What's your problem? Like, you buying me stuff from the store or cooking me a meal is not apologizing. But
exactly.
that, I think it is, like I said,
it's a generational thing. It is because
thing.
A lot of parents, especially like, I want to say like our parents up, you know, they come from a generation where it's like, you know, a lot of them come from that strict parent style.
Or that old generation where like the woman has the gender roles and things like that. And they have to do this for the man.
Exactly.
You
so
know,
it's like
in relationships and be beat on, and that's okay.
Like, I feel like every parent, you know, as time goes, every parent tries to be better than their parent, but they still have their parent tendencies, and they end up somehow either, you know, because even I can say it, like, sometimes I sound like my mother, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I sound like my mother. And other times, you know, I want to apologize to my mother because I feel like, you know, I could relate to what she was probably going through at the moment. But yeah, so I feel like it's a lot of generational stuff. But we also got to learn that we were our children once too, and what we wanted to hear. You know, what did you want to hear as a child at that moment from your own parents? You know, you always want that. How do I say it?
Acceptance, kind of.
Exactly. You always want that acceptance. You always want that. You always want to be put into consideration. Your feelings be put into consideration.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, you know, you got to think about that stuff too, when you have children of your own and when they're going through dealing with relationships as well. You know, yeah, when I was a child, I probably went through this, and my mom didn't, you know, pat my back or give me a hug when I needed one.
Right.
But my child is not going through this, so I'm going to give my child a hug and I'm going to, you know, be there for them. Do that, you know. And again, not necessarily you have to hand them the world, because no, that's not the answer. They have to, again, learn from their mistakes and learn how to move forward on their own, because you're not going to be there for the rest of their life. But, you know, you want to be able to show them that you are there when they need you. And,
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely harder now in like 2025, where it's like, it's already a struggle to live. And I feel like with me, I've never seen anybody in my family get married. Like my aunts, my mom. My mom was close to it, but, you know, a circumstance where my dad had died.
Pretty much, yeah, I could say pretty much the same thing. I see my cousins get married, which is funny, but like saying,
like,
you
your
know,
older generation family, like I've never seen them get married. Like,
I think I saw one of my aunts get married, and that ended up as a failed marriage anyway. So it's like
my auntie Kendra was engaged, but her fiance was a douche. But I've never seen anybody get married. I think that's why I would like to say I'm low-key hyper-fixated on
getting married.
Getting married, because
it becomes important to you.
It's almost like when you're the first in your family to go to college. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not sure if my brother went to college.
Graduate.
Yeah, but, you know, I want to be the first of something.
Yeah.
So my thing is, like, I definitely want to get married. I definitely want to have some kids. I really want that different lifestyle of relief. Yeah. I don't want to keep going through the talking stages.
And same here. I could say, like, you know, knowing the relationships, not just that my mom went through, but my aunts, you know, my whole family's always been a very close family from my mom's side. I can't speak on my dad's side because it's like once he passed away, we wasn't really around. We were never around my dad's side anyway.
Right.
But on my mom's side, they were really they were really close and they were always around. Same as my cousins, and that's why me and my cousins are very tight. Like I see my cousins as siblings as well. But I never seen them have healthy relationships, or long lasting relationships. So yeah, for us, it's funny because it's like it seems as a goal for
It seems like
for me and my
seems like an unreachable goal.
for me, my siblings and my cousins. I have seen my cousins get married, and stuff like that. So yeah, so I could say the same thing, I could relate to what you're saying too. But I would say I don't want to get married to get divorced. So it's like,
Me too.
I want to feel like I'm ready to marry this person before I say yes, and stuff like that. So who would you say come first? Family or your partner?
My partner for sure. Don't get me wrong. Mostly, yeah. I love my family or whatever, but I was like, I feel like because they've already dictated my life so much, like, you had your time. Like, I think now is my time to pursue my own happiness, my future with my partner. And again, I've been in a situation where this had to come up, is whether my person had to choose me or their family. They obviously chose their family, which is understandable. At least for that circumstance, but mine is my partner. Like, I think once we build at least a stable foundation, and we've talked, like, I'm not about, I'm not gonna keep asking you about your favorite color. I'm gonna ask you how many kids you want. What do you think about, farm life, city life? Where do you want to move out the country? What state? I'm gonna ask you the big questions. I feel like at a day and age that nobody asks those type of questions. Like, what's your mental state like? What are you allergic to? Like, I'm always going to remember small details. And I feel like when you have the partner, I think just even having a basic conversation won't be too hard. It's like, it won't automatically perceived as an argument. Like, you're always trying to pick at something. Yeah, I'm trying to pick at your brain. I'm trying to see what this can be. I don't want to go to divorce. I'm gonna tell my girl, you tired of me? Lay down. We'll take turns being on the couch. At the end of the day, we're not breaking up. I'd rather go to couples therapy before I sit there and sign a paper giving up. Then that means to me that the time, let's say I'm with somebody for 20 plus years. You telling me 25 plus years you didn't ask important questions? You know what I'm saying? That's why I like, to get right into it. People hate that because they think that's like a fast approach, but I'm going to get to it. I'm grown. I'm pushing 30.
Yeah, and I will say the same thing. At this day and age, I will say my partner comes first, especially if I'm serious about this person and I'm already seeing that lifetime goal with this person. Of course, my partner should come first.
Yeah.
Not because I don't care about my family, because my family will always be important to me, and that's why my partner would meet my family. But again, this is the person I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life. Then yeah, they should come first. And I'm talking about healthy relationships. If it's an unhealthy relationship, then I will say you come first.
Always.
You come first before your family and anybody else, because your family's gonna be like, "Oh, I told you so." Da, 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 da.
And then that's gonna fuck with your mental state.
That other person's already messing with you and being abusive or whatever the case may be. So yeah, you gotta choose you first and learn to love you first before you choose anybody, your family or your partner. But in a healthy relationship that like we're talking about now, we'll say choose your partner.
Right.
Your family already went through their relationships. They shouldn't be living their relationships or their fails or whatever through you. Your partner should come first.
But if you're not in a healthy relationship and you are in scenarios where you are getting abused or vice versa, let your family help you, okay? Like, let them give their opinions and things like that. Get therapy, okay? I'm gonna tell you, get therapy. All you motherfuckers need therapy. Your mama need therapy, your daddy, grandma, all y'all need therapy. So we can get rid of this generational curse. And not even just for therapy, just for the past things, even for your future stuff. Like, what aren't you healed with? I think when it comes to moving on in relationships, we tend to not want to heal. Like, I have relationships where I'm like, I'll notice I'll do something in a new one. I'm like, damn, I'm really not healed for real. or like, you know, I'll still bring up the past in a relationship. Not even just to like educate the person on why I act the way I do. It's just sometimes I'll just bring it up when I feel like something's like relevant or whatever. Get therapy, talk to somebody. If you can't talk to somebody, talk to yourself, journal, meditate, go do stuff for yourself. Go to the mall, go to the beach, take a walk, buy a cat, dog, I don't know, go fishing. Do something that's beneficial. And I think we're not used to doing stuff for ourselves. I know personally, I don't know how to do stuff for myself. I get scared just going to the corner store by myself because I'm like, this is something I'm doing for me. This is only for me. But no, on a serious note, set boundaries.
Yeah.
Like,
set boundaries. Put your partner first. Don't compare your relationship to your family's relationship because it's not the same.
Or even in your new one, or even in your new one.
Or your past relationships. You know, I always went into a new relationship brand new. That's one thing about me I could say. When I went into a new relationship, you know, I always went into it not thinking about what I went through in the past. So meaning like if I was cheated on by the last guy, I'm not gonna sit here and go into this new relationship like already thinking like, oh my God, he's gonna cheat on me, because that's gonna be a failed relationship from the start if you're already thinking that way. And then you're gonna start doing things or saying things.
It's gonna be a pattern and a cycle that you can't unbreak.
So that's what you were talking about, you know, letting go of, you know, past relationships and the issues that you went through. So again, don't compare your relationships.
No.
Don't involve your family in everything. You know, when you, as an adult, you know, you're already grown. Unless you really need their help, like you're in an abusive relationship or something's going on in the relationship that, you know, your family's going to give you healthy options and healthy opinions, then yeah, you could involve them, but don't involve them in everything.
Like not the chisme, the tea.
Yeah, like my partner lost their job, you know.
And now your family talking about your man, saying he can't provide for you.
You know, there's certain things that you should be able to sit down with your partner and talk about before involving your family, or even not involving your family at all.
Another thing you forgot to mention, don't bring everything to social media in relationships. Like, for example, let's say if I was like a cis man and I had a baby and, you know, I'm not with that person, don't sit there and bash your baby daddy, your baby mom. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring stuff like that to the media, bashing somebody else on their end, and other people, especially if they don't know that person, they're like, oh yeah, that's a deadbeat.
Because they're already taking their side and they don't even know what the heck
is
going on.
There's videos of like where a man cheats on a woman and he's DL or whatever, and they be quick to post it or whatever.
And not even that, like just regular relationships. Like we say it all the time. Like people go online and talk about their relationship, and then all of a sudden it's like, we all hate Phil. Philip, we hate you. I'm just throwing a name out there. But then all of a sudden, Megan goes back to Phil. And then we just sat there and invested our life into their relationship, and they're back together.
And now everybody looking at Meg saying, you stupid.
Now we're calling Meg out because why you back with Phil after you just made... You know, so... People become invested in it, so we gotta stop, you know, using social media for this stuff as well.
Yeah, because you don't know what, like...
I mean, I could say speaking for myself, you know, I have done the social media thing, but not in a sense of bashing my partner. I've done it in a sense of trying to get my partner to understand my feelings. So I'll throw a little quote out there. Guys are idiots. Like, they don't really look at that stuff anyway. So I'm sitting here wasting my time thinking, oh, he's going to read this. And he's going to be like, I understand why Catherine was mad the other day.
He's probably like this.
And definitely, you know, guys
and then there's another quote.
Guys don't really think about this stuff. But yeah, sometimes we go up there just to, like, express our emotions without telling it all. And other times, no, not everything we post is about our relationship. That's for y'all nosies, you know, we do it to kind of like get a kick out of it, to see who's gonna watch this person comment after I post this thinking I'm talking about my relationship. No.
Like, you okay?
So yeah.
Or when you post because I do streaks, or if you're in a hospital and you post streaks and they'll be like, oh my God, like, no, I'm not one of those who's like, I want you to ask why I'm in the hospital. Cause I mean, I used to do that low key for my crushes. I used to be like, send them stuff and be like, oh my god, I'm ready to go home. And I've only been there for 20 minutes just to like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, can't wait to like leave. And then like
that's the childish parts.
Yeah, like
that come out.
Yeah, I'm like, wait for my crush to be like, oh my god, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, big head, I'm fine. Like,
but
that's just the younger version. But as an adult, like, I don't know.
We think of this stuff as we did stupid stuff. We all did stupid stuff. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is parents or family members, your unresolved issues should not affect your child's relationship. Same as your unresolved issues as a person dating somebody should not affect your current relationship.
Right.
So like Jay said, if you have unresolved issues, you gotta get help, you know. And I know we all say this, and we are still doing it, but you know, everybody could benefit from a therapist.
Yeah, it's not as bad as you think.
know.
Don't get me wrong. I went through 3 different therapists, and I found the one that fits for me. And it's like I said, it's like dating, okay? It's like speed dating with your therapist.
Yeah, you gotta find the right one, and not every therapist is gonna be for you. You know, you want to find the right therapist that's gonna give you the right advice, or you feel
that's
like
gonna benefit you, help you with change. Don't get me wrong. I had therapists who just sat there and listened to me like if I was some fucking Hallmark commercial ass person. And what does that make you feel? Fucking David, I'm David.
I'm looking for your opinion.
I'm not. And it's crazy, because he literally would sit here and go.
So you had the typical movie.
Yeah, and I'm like,
you hear about
and
therapists.
Then they start writing, and then
feel?
before I can even like explain, it's like, hold on, let me write that. I'm like, no, got to go. And he looked like he played D&D in his basement. So, but at least with this one, I like because she gave me recently art, because she do art therapy. She gave me one that was like, draw a monster about your anger. And I was like, I've never perceived that at all. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, like, I'm going to draw this monster about how I'm angry, just like, and I really...
Yeah, like she's giving you something to really think about and work with about yourself.
Yeah, and the most recent one,
and that's what you want. If you
take the time for
the
myself.
type of therapy that you're seeking to get, that's the type of therapist you got to look for. And another note is when it comes to choosing your partner over your family can really destroy your relationship. So that's why we say don't tell them, don't involve your family in everything in your relationship unless you're ready to hear what they gotta say or accept what they gotta say. If you have an unhealthy family
environment
in general, like your family is just toxic, they're gonna destroy your relationship if you involve them. If you already have that type of family, just stay away from it. Don't
separate yourself
find
from
another support elsewhere. Because some people do have that. Prioritize your partner. Your partner, again, if it's a person that you see yourself with in the long run, then they should be your priority.
Number one, girl. That's right.
Yes.
Be my number one.
So again, family members, let your person grow. Let them fail. It's okay to fail in a relationship because that's how you get back up and you learn how to deal with stuff in your next relationship. Parents, do not live your life through your kids. Stop living your life through your kids. Let them fail if they have to fail. Let them grow. Let them bloom. Let them blossom. Let them, find the love that they need to find. Whatever the case may be, let them be them. And let them know that you're available for them when they need it.
Without judgment.
Exactly.
Like, not everything has to be a lecture. Like, if I'm telling you, like, hey, I just got cheated on, don't sit there and be like, I told you so. Just say, okay, do you want to go out to eat? Do you want to, get my mind off of something? Don't sit there and just be like, I told you so. That's why I told you not to put your eggs in one back. Like, I don't need that. That's going to mess up with
That's
my
when they
mental.
don't want to come back to you and talk to you about anything. You know what I mean?
That's why you're blocked. Like, you're, like, that's why family, that's why
if you're
family
wondering
block you.
why your child blocked you, then
Why,
this
that's
is
why
why.
you don't. You trying to wonder why you not on the Finsta page, the Instagram page, cause you doing wild stuff. You blocked.
So yeah.
But with that being said, uncomfortables, we are out, and stay tuned for another video. I'm a minister. Let's get uncomfortable.
My minister. Let's get uncomfortable.